way, but we will get started. Okay. Call the meeting to order, roll call.
Linda Andor.
Here.
Eddie Diaz.
Here.
Joe Toon.
Here.
Eddie is absent, or
Travis.
Travis is absent,
He's on his way.
Just see if you're listening.
on his way.
He's on his way.
Just seeing if you're paying attention.
I was.
And Max,
Max is in Ohio. Okay.
thank you.
I'd like to recognize our visitors who are here today, and we have, moving on to public forum, we have one individual who has asked to speak, here he comes, during public forum. And you can go ahead. Mary Hillman.
Thank you, Linda.
He'll do it. You discuss that one.
I wanted to take this opportunity for a couple of reasons, to give you a packet and update you on summer. We had our first day of summer, and that we had a great start. We have 155 students attending. We did make the changes that I addressed at the board meeting, and we have not received any complaints from our parents, knowing I think we're still offering...
3 minutes.
Yes, that we are still, now come on, you know. I know. And that we're still offering a great summer and opportunity to press for our students. You can see the themes that we're having. We're continuing learning, networking and tutoring, working on a lot of great projects for our students. I think the real only minor change is some of the staff shifting to save money there, as well as the field trips as well. And then the price increase of $20 across the board so far hasn't eliminated anyone, obviously. The other thing I wanted to really impress is the importance of our program and continuation. You guys have been tremendous supports to the program, and that with the new company coming to town, I think will be more needed than ever. Along with this company of JBS, there'll be a lot of other supporting businesses that will support that business. And so I already know so many of my families have came in very excited about the plant getting built. They're already traveling 2 hours, Harlan, Waterloo, different places. So we're going to be keeping those people in the community, and I think that's going to be a big difference. The other piece, how am I doing on time, Linda?
Minute 20 seconds.
Thank you. Is what I'm passing out. I'm having a lot of fun going through all the history. I'm a big history buff and person that likes to keep those things, so I'm doing a lot of Persian. PACES, what I'm presently doing was just one tiny little piece when I took the program. We also had camps and classes. So this was just 1 month's worth, and it's both front and back sides of programming that we had that was above and beyond the before and after school program. So I would encourage the board to look for other opportunities. This is more like a community ed model that you have, but I think along with what we're presently offering is going to be really critical for academic improvement, safety, and all those kind of good things for the community. It's been an honor for me to have all these opportunities, great support, and I have every faith that things will continue and improve as well. So thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Mary. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you very much for all of the work that you've done for so many years for our kids, and we hope you enjoy your retirement.
You know I'll be working.
I know. Okay. Consent agenda. Please be aware we do have one late item, and that is a playground contract, and that is at our place. Consent agenda.
I'll make a motion. A second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Report. Superintendent's report.
Yes, we have SchBd here today. Rick D'Amico will give a little update on the playground at Perry Elementary. So, Rick, good to have you here. And let's hear about Perry Elementary Playground.
It's my pleasure to be here and serve the board and the community. enjoyed working directly with Clark and Kent, Matt, Laura, and other leadership team members. So the goal of this project, and there's two, is to update your existing school. It includes a lot of mechanical, electrical, plumbing, things that we call cosmetics, that when you look around this room, your carpet, ceiling, other things will be treated and upgraded. The bulk of the work, the main body of work, we call the main project Phase 3, because we've already done work in this building, the adjacent building, and now the elementary. So in 2026, we will start that project. Currently, we're in the design phase. The design phase that we're in is known as construction documents. Going back to some work that we've done since the beginning of this year, we just completed 100% design documents. We met with Laura, Matt, Clark, others to do a deeper dive into the plans to make sure that they're consistent with your program, and then look at each of the pages. Now, I like to be very well prepared. I like to give polished presentations. Unfortunately, that computer right there is going to find a new home, because it's been a little frustrating for me. What I hope to bring to the board today were some images. Only a few minutes ago, they were ready to show you on the screen. So first, my apologies to the board for not having some of those documents available to you. But the design progression is on schedule. What that means is that all the architects, the engineers, the meetings that we've had, we will put the project out to bid in fall, with the expectation that we'll start construction on a new addition, those renovations I mentioned, in May of 2026. Where we can find opportunities to put the bid documents out to the market at the end of this year, we'd like to do that sooner rather than later. And when we look at the construction start, May of next year, it's an aggressive start. Maybe we can pull that back, start in April, maybe even March. So we're going to put something out called an early package. As I'm going through my talking points, please stop me too at any point if you have some questions. So with the weather in Iowa, the permafrost that we deal with, if we can start a little bit earlier, we'll do that. So big picture, design production on schedule, going out to bid on schedule. Our budget, we're trying to stay under $10 million. I want to talk about a few things. So as we do these deep dives for leadership, all of us are aware we have parameters, budget parameters. We never want to exceed those. However, certain things will come out of these discussions. We might be asked to consider an additional item. Again, it could be something like casework. It could be something like moving the condenser units and other equipment. So expensive, inexpensive, but all important to the students, the teachers, your parents, and the community. We balance that out. So with the actual pricing that we get from our think tank internally, we measure that again with the wants and needs. Behind all this, any work that we would do with your leadership, there are tariffs, there are changes in the world. Last week we heard aluminum and steel pricing, tariffs related to that, is going to raise the cost. So anything that can come into the building and our plant, again, we'll want to measure that. I'm going to stop for just a second. I've talked about schedule. I've talked about budget for the bigger project that will start in 26. Any questions? And then I'll keep going. Okay.
Question on the
Yes, sir.
presentation, will you be able to send that?
I can put something together. They'll be my talking points, and then I was going to include some pictures of the playground since we're in construction right now, so before and after. If you haven't gone by the school and you have time to do that, it's pretty impressive what they can do in a short period of time. The other talking points would include budget and timeline consideration. So yes, I'll send that to you and get that out.
Yep.
This problem that I pointed to over here prohibited me from having it ready today, so I don't want to promise when, but
Okay.
just as soon as I can. It's nothing incredible, but it will answer the questions or be part of what I'm presenting now.
Okay.
And as we get further along, there will be some more pictures in terms of like what the elementary part of it updates will look like. We're not that far yet on that piece of it.
Yeah, so what she's mentioning, we do something called renderings. We do 3D modeling. So we have a 3D model of what the addition to the elementary will look like. Laura, what would you call that adjacent area? How is it known to everyone?
The office, like
Okay, so internal renderings, external renderings. The new addition, though, where that's located.
The preschool playground.
Pre-K playground. So it's in that area. If you go by there today, there's no work being done in that specific area, but again, as I mentioned, we're looking at, once we start construction, where we might trigger some early work, some site work. So a rendering would include, right now, we call it a block diagram. It's very rudimentary. As we advance the plans, we can advance those renderings. They create a lot of excitement, too, for your stakeholders. Risk. The three things that I'll always come to the board and discuss: timeline, budget, and risk. I mentioned a little bit of risk, the tariffs, the world that we live in, logistics, cost escalation. Escalation is normal as we go year to year, it might be 3 to 5%. We'll keep that in our budget. The tariffs, anywhere from additional 5 to 10%. I don't want to bring to a meeting a sort of womp moment, but it's one of those things, it's a reality that we track. Again, working with your leadership team, we have an order of magnitude, highest priority, medium priority, things that we might say we can do without for this time, to meet our objectives, which is the improvements, beautification, enhancements to your elementary. That's kind of the talking points for the main project, and I'll give you an update on the playground. But before I do that, any other questions, comments? Okay. With regards to the playground, same thing. We are demoing the existing playground. We're putting in new pads, new concrete, new equipment. So to the credit of your leadership team, they were able to exceed our anticipated, to find savings on our budget item for the playground equipment. At one time, we estimated it at $1.2 million, and the final cost for the equipment, I'm trying to remember, but it was about $600,000 less just for the equipment in those two areas. So that was a big win. We had 25 general contractors look at the playground opportunity. So when I talk about playground, it was the renewal of what's there today, bringing that back. And of that, 2 contractors came to the site, met with the architect, met with me and others. We walked the site, and they came in also under budget in our construction costs, what we were evaluating for that work. That cost from the general contractor is $370,000. We had projected closer to $420,000 for that scope of work. So we found savings both in the equipment and the installation, the work related to the civil work and those improvements. Today, if you drive by, all the equipment is gone. The equipment that they wanted to save and preserve for later is stored safely on site. There are fences up, there's signage up where kids could go to the playground. The soccer sort of component, still very enticing, especially in the summer months when kids want to go out there and play. There is some signage just saying, please, not at this time. It's monitored not only by the general contractor, not only by SiteLogic, but Laura told me recently that the police force has been asked to also monitor just a little more frequently activities that are outside of normal construction activities. So we just don't want kids being curious, adults being curious, going inside of the fenced area. If you see someone in the fenced area, let leadership know or reach out to us if it's during work hours. If it's after hours, you can always ask them to leave or call the police, but hopefully wouldn't come to them. The completion of the playground comes to, we have what we call substantial completion, July 7th, final completion the 14th, and then installation of your equipment the week after. So we have sort of a 2-week window allowing for weather conditions. Already in the last couple of weeks, it's rained a few times. We have a weekly project meeting. There's no change to our overall timeline. We're still on course for substantial completion on July 7th. So really by the end of July, first week, I think the end of July, the equipment, it's not managed by us, but the equipment installation should be complete.
The substantial completion date is for the concrete work, not for the playground installation itself. The playground installation itself is scheduled to start the week of the 21st of July, and that includes the equipment, but then also the pour-in-place rubber, which about a week for playground installation, about a week to 10 days for the pour-in-place rubber. That has to cure, gets us right up to August before it's ready for kids to play on.
Thank you. So you can probably tell we divided and conquered that component. We just felt like the purchase of playground equipment, that group, their specialties, made for a more fluid process, and it saved us some time on work that our general contractor is doing currently. Any questions about the timeline related to the playground? Any questions related to our budget for the playground? And also in the materials I'll send to Clark, it includes some bullet points on the playground.
I had a question. You said you monitor the space. I'm assuming the patrols are how the PD does it. How do you guys do it? Is it by?
So I'm here twice a week,
Okay.
usually on a Monday and then later in the week, so like a Thursday, Friday. So being here today, I'll come probably Thursday and come back and see. So I monitor the progress of the general contractor. And then their own team is on site. And then, as I mentioned, the police just patrolling the area.
I had talked to Chief Archer just about having more patrols, especially kind of after hours, especially once they start doing the concrete work in the pouring place, just to make sure that kids and people are not messing with that part. Right now it's fenced completely, but once the concrete work is done, the fence will come down because that's a part of the general contractors, not the installation people. So I've talked to Archer about just doing some increased patrol around that area.
Good to have that community engagement. Any other questions, comments? All right, well, thank you again. It's a privilege being here. I promise to be a little more finesse the next time. And as we advance the plans, have renderings, interior designer, they may also, I would recommend having them come in. Sometimes we'll bring the materials you can look at, get excited about that, and they're a little more eye candies for these presentations. So appreciate your patience today. Clark, anything I can add?
No, I did see the pictures up there, but I don't know what happened over there, so.
They stalled on me. We got here
Ready to go.
early and I saw
We
it
were
through.
prepared and ready to roll. But
Yeah.
that happens.
If you like, I'll try again before I have to leave. I'd be happy.
No, that's good. If you send it, then I share it to the board and stuff.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second thing, June 13th, board retreat. Linda and I have been communicating and working with Tammy Droboff from Iowa Association of School Boards. We'll be, I've also talked to Farm Credit Services, which is a location for our board retreat.
Where's it located at? Is it the one out on Willis? Very
Yep.
into Willis, right
Yep.
before 141?
You bet. And you park on the east side,
East side.
be the best side to do. The other part is the employees and
Okay.
stuff. So, but
And I think they said we go in through the east door as opposed
Yep.
to going in through the back door, which would be the west door.
Okay.
all right. So Tammy has worked with
It's
us
fun.
a couple different times, so we should have a pretty active morning. We'll have a light breakfast, light lunch, 7:30 to, I put 10:30 originally, it might be 10:45, so I just put, plan on 11, and we'll be completed at that point. So, yep, Farm Credit Services, so thanks to those guys. It's a beautiful conference room, and should work out very well. All right.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. I do want to apologize to Dallin. He's been at several of our board meetings, but he has moved to the front table tonight. And I apologize for not introducing you, but you've been at board meetings since, say, March or April. So thank you and welcome. Presentation of developing a work-based learning program.
All right, work-based learning, big initiative with the state. We have Kevin Vittiger here, Brock Sorensen. Welcome you guys, and thanks for being here.
All right, well, thank you very much for having us. So Brock and I are really excited to be here today to share with you an important initiative that's going to benefit our students, our high school, and our district as a whole, which is our growing work-based learning program. This approach is grounded in the state legislation and best practices that connect students directly with industry partners to sustain meaningful experiences. So just as a quick reminder, so under Iowa Senate File 2411, work-based learning involves direct, sustained interaction with industry and aligns with real workplace experiences and expectations. And this was a big change that the legislature just passed, or the DE rather, I'm sorry, clarified based on federal changes in the definition of what is work-based learning. So in other words, this isn't just about like doing job shadowing or interviewing or anything. What it's really about are internships, apprenticeships, simulated experiences, project-based learning, and it's all integrated into a student's academic plan, which is also a state requirement. So in other words, to think about, or another way rather to think about it, is the goal is to prepare students for post-secondary success by developing critical skills while helping them explore the real-world career pathways, getting that genuine, authentic experience. So Brock's going to share a little bit about what we've got going with our plan at Perry, because we are taking our first steps on there, and then kind of painting a picture of where we're going to go, and then I'll wrap things back up.
Thanks, Kevin. For those of you who don't know me, Brock Sorensen, high school business teacher. I know most of you. I'm very sure to introduce myself. I gave you guys all a handout along with kind of the sample work-based learning plan. So this right here kind of represents everything that we have done this first year, right? So I'm going to go ahead and start on this side here. So we had the opportunity this year to lay the foundation for our work-based learning program with the class through DMAC, partnership with DMAC called DMAC Work-Based Learning Career Exploration, right? And this year kind of served as a foundation year for me to kind of figure out what content we want to cover in the class, and then work with students in all of the areas that you guys can see there. So professionalism in the workplace, career exploration and research, effective interviewing, educational programs, employability skills, mock interviewing, job applications, online profiles, cover letters, resumes, and the like, right? So it was a great experience. It was a smaller class size this year, probably worked with about 20 juniors and seniors, kind of laying the foundation, which now, as we look into year two, is kind of about, all right, well, what do we want to be? And with a lot of work with Kevin and I, we've kind of looked at targeting our current sophomores. So earlier this month, end of May actually, I brought in about 20 sophomores that I've worked with over the course of their first 2 years. And it was kind of a recruiting trip of kind of getting them interested in the idea of career planning and work-based learning. So on the other side, this is the document that we kind of presented them. So what they would do as juniors is they would take the DMAC work-based learning course, right? So they would take the course, learn about all the initiatives that I shared there on the previous page. Then, in the spring of 2026, they would fill out an application. So we would have an application process which would then allow them to go out and potentially internship with real businesses in the fall of 2026. Now, rub is we have to get business members, community members to buy into this program, which is kind of the step that we're at right now. Is now we've kind of built the class, we've kind of got some good movers, we kind of have a vision for when we want the internships to start taking place, kind of fall of 2026, which now kind of leads us to the 2025-2026 school year as me kind of pounding the pavement, reaching out to businesses, seeing who would be interested, and potentially hosting some of our student interns. And then from that point on, we would actually invite those businesses in to interview some of our student candidates, really like a job interview, with the hopes of setting them up in an internship in the fall of 2026. And then ideally, what that would be is then as seniors, they would work a student internship in the desired industry that they have selected for their entire senior year. So that's a little bit sort of about what the program is. Again, we're really excited about it because we think it can be a great recruiting tool, one, for the program, but two, the community as a whole, right? The opportunity for local businesses to get high quality students in their building, train them, build that relationship, maybe send them off to a 2-year or 4-year program with maybe the hopes of maybe bringing them back here to this community after they've graduated with their associates, their certificate, or potentially even their bachelor's. So that's kind of the long-term goals, but it's something that we're really excited about. I think Kevin and I have done a lot of work. We've kind of kept it, I mean, I don't want to say under wraps, but we've kind of been working in silence, kind of trying to build this, make sure we have a solid plan before we started talking to you guys about it. So, Kevin, did I miss anything?
Nope, I think you did a nice job.
Okay, how is this different from IJAG? Because at one point, IJAG did all of these things, and I know that they did have employers who came in and worked with classes, and I know of at least 2 of our students at one point that were offered internships, and they participated in internships at Principal in Des Moines. How is it going to be different, or is IJAG not going to cover some of these same things, or we're looking at a different group of kids, or what?
So I would say we're probably looking at a different group of kids, just kind of based on what traditionally IJAG has been. I know it's been a little bit more traditionally at risk. That is not necessarily what were looking at this program. We were actually just talking about Clark with this. I was actually just talking about Clark with this beforehand. We need to kind of get on the same page as it regards to IJAG, because I don't know if there's, I don't believe they've sent out any interns in the past.
Not, this group has not, but I know
Yeah.
Tina has.
There's been, yeah, Tina has, there's been, there's been a lot of turnover kind of, which is,
Yeah.
made it difficult for them to maybe forge those relationships. I think that's kind of where I think I could, come in and maybe do a little bit better of a job with that. Me being here, just finishing up year 6, I think that opportunity
Right.
is kind of there. And, like I don't know everybody in the community, but I think I know enough people. I think enough people know me that I think, we can really make some inroads there and provide those high quality internship opportunities. And that's not to disparage Josh and Sean. Both of those guys do an incredible job. It's just, they just finished up year
They're
1.
new.
I'm finishing up year 6. So.
They're new.
And we think, sorry, if I can say one more thing. Our ESSA school ranking, that's this WBL is like it's 11%, counts for 11% of that. So with all due respect to IJAG, I don't want to leave that portion of the ESSA ranking in an external stakeholder's hands. I would rather have that in our building, in the community, where, I think there's a little bit more weight with it.
Yeah, so just to build on what Brock shared, our goal with IJAG would be to partner with them, but ultimately have them follow our guidelines. Because the other thing that we've learned in talking with other folks in districts is that IJAG has like their way of doing things, their paperwork, their forms. If we have ours and then both of us are trying to contact, let's say Travis, we come in and you get 2 contacts, right? And you're looking at one, Perry High School, and here's what we have to do. You look at IJAG and here's what they have to do, and they're not the same. That's going to confuse the heck out of you. And you might just say, you know what, I'm not doing either because I don't know which one. So we want to make sure that we're very tightly aligned. And actually with Josh and them having just finished their first year, it gives us a golden opportunity to do that.
And I would say too, just to add on to that, so we built a work-based learning manual. I did that this spring. It's 44 pages, so I didn't want to like destroy a tree while doing it. But if you ever are interested in it, I'd be happy to get you a copy, share it with the board. I mean, it's a pretty comprehensive document. I took 2 classes through the University of Northern Iowa this spring to work towards what's called an MOC certification, which would allow me to supervise students out in the workforce, and that was part of the coursework, so I developed that manual. So it's still under revisions. I mean, every document is never going to be perfect, but I felt like we provided a pretty compelling document for our first go. But I'd be happy to share it with you guys.
Are you looking at then just one class period for this, or are you looking at expanding it to more than one?
If you want to go with that.
For which?
For the work-based learning class.
So the work-based learning class, we'd start with 1 and kind of limit it till we can see how our students are doing as internships and how employers are coming on board with it. And then we might expand that down the road.
Right.
But right now, we want to keep it very tightly controlled and very manageable for us because this is our first foray into there. And this is one of those that's like that old adage, right? You only get one chance to make a good first impression. This is it. We want to make sure that we just knock it out of the park as far as making sure that any employer feels very comfortable, very knowledgeable with what we're providing in terms of both the students and their caliber and their qualities, as well as the students extremely familiar with what they're going to be getting into, what kind of work they're going to be assigned that's a meaningful experience, and that we can answer all the questions that an employer might have. So, yeah, like Ron said, we're starting very small. We're looking at, if you're familiar with Boone, they have their EDGE program. That's kind of our model or our inspiration because they've been around for quite a while and are very successful. And so we're learning a lot from them.
Good. Great.
So then a couple other things, just wanted to recap. Okay, so some student benefits, of course, it's their actual career readiness through real world experience, practical hands-on learning, and then of course they can we anticipate based on what others have shared with us that students' academics are going to improve because they're going to see the real life implications for those what they're learning in class. As a school, Perry High School will benefit because of course we'll enhance our curriculum relevance because now it'll be authentic experiences that are based on what's going on right around us here in Perry. Increase student engagement and of course strengthen those community partnerships like Brock shared. And then for the district, of course, we'll be able to align our educational program better or more closely rather, with workforce needs. Of course, local economic development will support that because we're getting our kids out into internships. And we'll come back and talk more about what an actual internship entails and things like that. And then, of course, that collaboration between education, business, and the community. One of the points that we did want to make, though, is that Rock eventually will need to move to a full-time work-based learning coordinator position. And the reason for that is, number one, as he mentioned, he's going to need to be out there constantly talking with businesses, and especially during that first time that we do our internship. He's going to need to be checking in probably 2-3 times a week at least to see how things are going, answering questions, providing support, and then making connections with other businesses, following up. They'll be teaching the courses, the work-based learning courses and whatnot, but his position will be paid fully by the teacher leadership funds. So it's not going to cost the district, anything in the general fund. In fact, we'll gain, right? Because then we'll have another business teacher coming in who will work hand in hand with Rock, learn from him on that side of thing, and our program will really, I think, take off at that point. So I did want to make you aware of that because that will be coming down the road. So in conclusion, it's just, this is a major undertaking by the district that's going to position the high school and the district, I think, in a very positive light, not only within the Perry community, but in central Iowa, if you will. We're phasing it in, I think, in a very sustainable way. And it's going to take a lot of coordination, professional development, ongoing support, but I think the end result is going to be amazing when we get to it.
Are there any additional funds at the state that they are willing to kick in? Because they are very supportive of the work-based learning. And are there funds that we can kick into?
Yeah, so we met with Christy Valesky. She's kind of like a work-based learning guru. She's helped a lot of different programs all across the country. She actually had the opportunity, or we had the opportunity to host her for a visit here a couple of weeks back, and she mentioned this thing called the STEM Best Grant, which kind of helps with some of those WBL startup expenses that may incur. So that might be a fall project for me as I'm teaching all this, and I know I'll have some supports, I think, too. Jill Anderson's kind of expressed some interest in maybe helping me out with that. I know she wears a lot of hats, but so there is some funding out there. Christy made it sound like money's kind of hard to come by right now. It always is, but there are some opportunities out there. That STEM Best Grant probably be in our
Future Ready Iowa?
That gives another possibility. The STEM Best Grant, we're looking at $40,000 is what we would apply for, the maximum amount. Yeah, Future Ready Iowa might have some. And then you never know, like some of our larger employers might want to help out too as well. Again, it'll all be based on building those partnerships and sharing with them, here's what our program is, here's how we can provide high quality students and for you to expand your workforce, if you will, and then at the same time giving them these authentic experiences.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Two comments. So Brock's the right man for the job. If anybody can do it, Brock can do it.
Appreciate that.
Just some sobering experiences. So at DMAC, we ran internships for the last 3 summers. Extremely challenging to run in the summer when there's a lot more time and all that stuff. Industry partners are not prepared to take on interns. It's a challenging thing. I know this is being driven by the state. With the STEM grant is a one-time thing, $40,000 for whatever consumables or those type of things. So it's not sustainable. Like there's not going to be an influx of money. So I also, having been in education for 15 years, this reminds me a lot of the MOC that was probably from your time periods back in school. So I would caution putting a lot of, the full-time position is the piece that concerns me. Because changing administrations at the governor level or state legislature is this is being driven by the state legislature hard. And so who knows what's going to happen in the next few years with that. So that's the sobering piece. The other part, we're happy to help. So we have an initiative called Future Ready Perry. I'm on a couple different boards, happy to connect you as best I can. If you have summer hours, Connie Sines would be a good person to talk to. In my professional life, I've worked with 7 other school districts, and every school district's trying to do the same thing.
Yep.
And they're all running into some, and a couple of school districts are 1 or 2 years ahead, so I can kind of see what's going on with them. It's a challenging program.
Yeah.
So and I'm sure you guys are aware of that. I just wanted to make sure everybody else is aware of that. Looks great. Industry should be on it. I'm just telling you, it's going to be.
We know we got our work, we have our work cut out for us, but we're really excited about it. And I think we've got a good foundation
Okay.
in place, so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Guys.
Thank you, Brown. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin, you might want to just stay right up there. Yeah.
SiAC update.
All right.
Let's give up some of that Harvard grant funding.
Jim. no.
It's out of order.
Did you?
All right, so switching gears. So Grace and I are here to share about our last SiAC meeting. And so in front of you, you have a copy of the minutes and a copy of the district needs assessment that was conducted earlier this school year, or I guess this past school year now. So the SiAC met on May 5th to review the results of the district needs assessment. In short, we tried it in the fall. Our results came back. They were not as comprehensive as we would have liked, so we tried again in the spring. That was even worse in terms of number of respondents, but we did feel that we wanted to honor the responses of people from the fall needs assessment, and so that's what you have in front of you. Okay. So the SiAC met on the 5th to look at the results, and we talked through and looked for patterns and key themes. And so Grace will share some of those key themes, and then I will talk a little bit about looking ahead with the needs assessment. I do want to say that the needs assessment is a requirement by the state, and we're supposed to, districts are supposed to complete this every 5 years. Ours got caught up in COVID, because that was the year that we were supposed to do it, and then it got caught again in January because of January, and that was the year we were supposed to come back and do it, so we finally started back on it this year. So it's been quite a bit of time since we did our last needs assessment. But we are giving it a good faith try this year, and then I think we've got a plan for next year as well. But first, let's talk about some of the key themes and challenges that we saw.
So some of the strengths were teacher care and support. Families consistently highlighted how much teachers care and are accessible and invest in student success. Strong foundation of supportive relationships contributes to a positive school climate. Community pride. The committee observed a clear sense of pride in the Prairie community and its schools. Families value the district's commitment to students and recognize the positive contributions of school staff. Expanded communication tools. The district has made notable progress in expanding access to information through various platforms, including newsletters, text, social media, and direct messaging. That would also include a lot of parents like Parent Square also. Some challenges. Concerned about student safety. Many students feel safe at school. There were concerns raised about student behavior and the consistency of responses to behavior-related incidents. Academic rigor and challenge. Some families and staff indicated a desire for more challenging coursework and stronger support for academic growth, especially for students performing above or below the grade level. And then another challenge would be consistency in communication. While the tools of communication have improved, families noted inconsistencies in how and when information is shared, particularly regarding classroom level updates and follow-up communication. And then thing to read on behalf of the parents and the SiAC. So I wrote, as a parental member of the School Improvement Advisory Committee, my purpose here personally tonight is to present you with a summary and an overview of the district needs assessment survey that was taken by parents who still have faith in our district's ability to enact real change. These parents and community members did their part in hopes their concerns and praises would not fall onto deaf ears. There were a few undertones throughout the survey of strengths reported, such as how much teachers care and invest in student success and their positive contributions to the school climate, and people reflected the pride of the Prairie community and the schools. Parents are also growingly impressed in our newly improving expansion of communication tools, such as Parent Square, direct messaging, and newsletters. However, I would like to highlight some of the frequently noted undertones and concerns that I noticed from the survey, or challenges that parents have expressed. Those specifically being concerned about safety and ongoing parental and student fear and anxiety following the January 4th school shooting. Many parents across multiple questions expressed concerns over the lack of proactive safety measures, such as metal detectors, bag checks, and consistent security screenings. They stated that bullying remains a significant concern for some families, with some under the impression that bullying is not consistently addressed by staff. There was a recurring theme for the need for serious, consistent handling of bullying incidents and expanded mental health supports for students. Extreme safety concerns, consistency, and lack of effective communication seem to be an undertone in many of the answers in the survey as well. On behalf of the participating parents of the district, community members, and the parents of the School Improvement Advisory Committee, we ask that you analyze the results of the district needs survey and honor the voices of parents who still choose to participate in our school and its improvement. Although the pool of participants may have been considered smaller than anticipated, those that did are the ones who still have faith that you are listening. If we don't listen to what they have to say and honor their responses by giving them the time of day they deserve, diving into the issues presented promptly, the likelihood of them taking the next survey is very, very slim. This has already been proven by the second district assessment that produced fewer than 40 responses. As Wick stated in a previous side meeting, people just don't like taking surveys. Therefore, we hope that you respect the survey they did take, even if it was unfavorable or inconvenient for them. This may be as big a response from your community as you may get, so let's take advantage of that. Thank you.
All right, so with that in mind, then next steps. So the SIAC meeting is scheduled for, the next one is scheduled for August 12th at 6 o'clock here at the Brady Library. And there are 3 purposes for the meeting, one of which will be to have Tony Vandersel, who works with the Iowa Association of School Boards. He will come out and present and share kind of a recap of here's what the Iowa Association of School Boards can do with this survey. Because the thinking is, we've tried a couple times now to have it done locally. Maybe having an outside organization, you can do spend a lot more time on it, especially with advertising and promoting it, that they come in and will share, here's what we do, kind of like what the packages that they offer, here's the survey questions, and then what we would do is use these questions to dive in deeper, change probably a fair number of the ones that are in the standard survey that the Iowa Associated School Board uses to reflect our questions, our concerns raised by parents like Grace shared, so that we can dive in deep and say, okay, what is it really that parents are after? And then we can get a greater response, and then of course use that to move forward with improvements. So that's our plan moving forward. And I know Linda and Joe, you're on the board. I don't know if you have anything.
Is it not also the intent that at that meeting we would set the new members? Because we would have a new administrator at that time, and we would set the new members for the oncoming year.
Yes.
So if anyone knows of someone who would like to participate on this, it only meets 4 times a year. Every 3 months. So.
Yep, and that would be very important to have those members set right away, because we would need consistent membership moving through.
Consistent membership, where people are actually going to show.
Yes, yeah, because we'll need some feedback on the survey questions, you know, just kind of thinking ahead, and then, of course, meeting after the survey's given to start looking at the results.
And I'd like to say, I've worked with Tony Vandersel at Ames High School when we were both teachers there, and he's a very remarkable guy.
Very good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Other questions?
Yes, it's August 12th, one's correct. So at the August 12th one, that's a call for new members, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, kind of a call for new members, first SIAC meeting of the year, yes.
Okay.
Those SIAC members do have to be board approved. I mean, so you'll get the list of people, but then the board approves who the SIAC members are each year.
Yeah.
So I'll take it on myself to try and recruit. I know this has been a challenging task for a number of years since I first got on, so I'll try to help with that.
All right, thank you.
I guess the thing that and maybe the administrators can help too. Staff, there's hardly, and I know it's hard to ask people to do more, but their contract, but I also noticed that there's no staff.
Well, we don't want a lot of staff on the side. We really want parents from the community.
Well, we got both, we got parents
Right.
that are staff.
Yeah.
And I think it would be helpful to have a staff member too.
And we do have Amanda McDivitt, if she
Oh, she's not on
comes,
this list?
no, she,
Oh, she must have just not been.
yeah, she was not there at the meeting.
Got it. That's
But,
good.
yeah, she has come to a couple
Okay,
of meetings.
so this is not the full roster? Oh,
Right, these are just the
Okay.
folks that were there at that
understood.
meeting.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, not too.
Commendations.
All right, Perry Elementary had its first ever Fun Day on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. And it was outstanding. Thank you to all the parents and community volunteers who made it possible. Board members Linda Endorf, Travis Langer, Joe Toon all volunteered their time, along with middle school principal Ned Menke and numerous parents who supported this endeavor to ensure that both students and staff could have a fun and safe day. Bounce houses, interactive games, dance parties, yard games, relay races, bingo, movies filled the day. Several high school students also volunteered and joined in the fun to ensure that it was safe and enjoyable day for everyone. And I do not believe there were any injured. So that was great. Huge.
Can I say one thing?
I'd like to finish reading this.
Okay,
if I
go ahead.
could. Is that possible?
I'd like to thank some people for that, so
Okay.
go ahead.
A huge thanks to Matt Hicks and the building and grounds team, Willie Brown, Bob Wilson, Chrissy Davis, and Juan Ledesma, who helped moving tables, setting up, and cleaning up for the event. Thank you to Karen Cleaver and Melody Steele and the Perry Elementary School kitchen staff for adjusting lunches and being flexible to have grab-and-go lunches in the classrooms around the activity rotations. Thank you to Mary Hillman and the Paces for being flexible with setup and cleanup, having inflatables in the MPR and the gym that the Paces team adjusted to and work around. Thanks to our special teachers, title teachers, EL, SPED teachers, and classroom teachers who all took turns running stations, watching each other's class so that they could have fun and see all the activities. It was a magical day and one that I hope we can replicate in the future. It was a fun day. Thanks to board members for helping out with that. Laura Skeel, she, you know what, I know she does a great job as principal, but I think she needs to be a wedding organizer too, because she loves to organize and she loves to get schedules all planned out. And really, the whole thing, it was a lot of moving parts, and it, you know, here's the other thing. You have to always make adjustments. It was supposed to be outside initially. She's a meteorologist also, and saw that the rain was coming and moved everything inside. So all that planning, and then it had to get readjusted, but it worked out well. And many kids, even the ones that I talked to when I visited, hey, how'd that day go? They said it was the greatest day. So but we all have to have fun too. Besides teaching and learning, part of it is having fun. So Laura, good job of organizing, and thanks again to the board members. Ken.
I'd like to personally thank the many people and other school districts that donated funds after January 4th in order to pay the substantial amount of money for the fun day that the elementary had, and also for the middle school trip to Adventureland. Those excess funds that were non-specific to other specific areas that are being used to benefit students and staff as we go. And some of those funds were available for these two purposes.
Yeah.
Good.
Worked out very well.
Okay. Okay, going on with accommodations, choir results. The point threshold for a Division I rating is 36 points. Each choir earned a Division II excellent overall rating. Our scores all improved and were treble clef choir 33, 31, 35, bass clef choir 35, 32, 38, mixed choir 35, 34, 34. Perry was the only school at our site with a treble clef, bass clef, and mixed choir. The students performed absolutely beautifully, and it was a tough set of judges. I received several compliments on our choirs and our students from parents from other schools. Our mixed choir performed some especially difficult music, with one piece having been an all-state piece last fall, a brand new unpublished piece that was written just for our choir, and a third piece by an Iowa composer that is in 7 parts. Please congratulate the choir students. Band results from the State Large Group Festival. The band earned our second consecutive Division I rating after a considerable period of time without one. 2016 was probably the last time. To earn a Division I rating, you must score at least 36 points out of a maximum of 40. At least 2 of the 3 judges need to be a Division I for your overall score to be a Division I. Our scores were 36, 37, 38, meaning we earned a Division I rating from each judge. 35, 37, 37 was our scores last year. They're especially proud of these students because not only did they improve their scores from last year, but they also had the most challenging set of music selected for them in the 4 years that the band director has been here. If you have any band students in class, please congratulate them on this awesome accomplishment. It means a lot to them when they receive compliments from people outside of the music department.
Commendations to Associate Principal Adam Jessen for successfully planning and executing a full middle school field trip to Adventureland on May 30th, 2025. Mr. Jessen spoke with Adventureland representatives several times over the course of planning the trip and worked closely with our staff. So 2 big things that went very well. So kudos to you guys and your organization with that. Appreciate it.
Right. Moving on to general business. Approve agreement with 21st Century Rehab PC for sports medicine services for 25-26.
All right, this is an agreement that we've had the past few years. It's worked out extremely well for the 21st Century Rehab to help us out on all the different practices, events, and you see Clint Luderman out and about quite a bit. So
The fees went up much on this, Clark. Are they pretty consistent from last
they were
year?
pretty consistent.
I thought it looked like it was, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it went up at all. So
I couldn't find the other one, but I felt like memory served it was close. I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Approve DMAC Youth Consortium Credit Recovery Agreement.
this agreement we've had before, would like to have the board approve that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Can I abstain? Will that impact quorum or not?
We would still have 3 guesses. So if you'd like to.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
He has to abstain. How is this different from the Success Center or the in-house?
Credit recovery mainly.
How is this credit recovery different?
So this is through the DMAC part. The Success Center is the educating pieces. The consortium piece, if I'm not mistaken, is the part downtown where it's a drop-in center.
Okay.
So they are students that have other things going on in their lives that they will then attend when they can, and then they work with a teacher there, do their work, and then test there.
Okay. Just curious. Are we done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just waiting for you, then.
Discuss and determine Woodward Granger Community School District request for membership in the Heart of Iowa Activities Conference beginning July 1, 2026.
Okay, this is a discussion like I put in there, and possible voting after discussion. And want some information. In your packet, I want you to take a look at the formal application so you get background, and you probably have already read through that. So the way that this works, if there is a school that both parties are interested in coming into the Heart of Iowa Conference, as well as the Heart of Iowa interested in that particular school, which is what we have right now. The high school principals have discussed Woodward Granger possibly coming to the Heart of Iowa Conference, and ADs have also discussed it. From what our AD high school principals have said, that they're all in favor of this move. So, Mr. Silver, you want to add any other comments as far as the Woodward Granger potential coming to the Heart of Iowa? Advantages?
Yeah. So there were other schools at one time looked at South Tama, and I think even Pleasantville was looking to come. And Woodward's just a great fit. They're growing in size. That's why they wanted to come to our conference. It puts us as a 10-team conference, so that's a benefit for scheduling. We're 10.3 miles from them. As you can see, maybe in your packet, the average distance between the conference schools is 38.4 miles. So all of us, principals and the ADs, we're all talking about it. You know, they're going to bring in, you know, they're going to be competitive with all of us. And it's just a really good fit, distance, size, competitiveness, and they offer pretty much everything. Here at Perry, we're already playing them. So it just benefits us. We lose, I was talking to Mrs. Luderman today, we lose one non-conference game. But again, that's not an issue with that.
What would the travel distance be for that like non-conference game, like on average? Would that be over 30 miles? I mean, they're probably the closest school to us, right?
We're the closest, yeah,
So that would save on busing and mileage, I assume, some thinking?
Yes, that would be, a home and home type of thing, so.
Would it change our schedule
It actually,
significantly?
the way I understand from Mrs. Luderman is it helps our schedule. It's not going to change much anyway, because most of the time we've already had them on our schedule. But it helps the conference because now it's a 10-team conference. So on conference nights, it's easier to schedule. You don't have the one team that's left out. And then it does make a little bit of a challenge with volleyball because it takes away some of the dates, but they've already got a plan in order to do some triangulars with that. So there is a plan to still be able to, it won't affect it, I guess.
And there is a year ahead. I mean, July 1, 2026.
All in all, after talking with the ADs and principals, it's just a great fit. It's the right thing. Everybody's on board.
We just went through that ourselves not that long ago, so
That is
we
correct.
understand why.
Yes. And we were very fortunate
Right.
to also get into the Heart of Iowa Conference.
Right.
And it has worked out very well.
There is some talk is like we can choose this right now, and moving forward, the state then gets to decide conference alignment. So if we have a solid alignment, then we've made that choice, all our schools. So it's a win-win right now.
So does this have to be presented at all the other schools at their board meeting too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You bet.
So what actions do they need from just discussion tonight?
It's
Well,
just
discussion, but then if the board would want to vote on it, then we would then let Woodward Granger and the association know. The time frame on that, Mr. Snowden, do you know the time frame on that? I think that I don't have an exact date on that, but if we feel that it's good, I mean, we could vote tonight. If you don't feel like you want to, and check it out, I'll put it on for next month. Any other discussion?
I'll be honest, I don't, unless somebody can tell me some cons of why, or what harmful what harm or why we wouldn't want to.
I don't see it,
Yep.
but it is.
I mean, I assume the same discussion happened about Perry when we wanted to become
Right.
Heart of Iowa. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, see, we had a discussion on a previous school, I won't mention, wanting to come to the Heart of Iowa.
Yeah.
And we went through, the Heart of Iowa did not want that particular school. So then we went to the association, the Boys Association, had a big to-do there. Still, they didn't have all of the different activities that Woodward Granger. So the association, after many meetings, many legal fees, and all that, said, Heart of Iowa, you need to accept that school. Okay? So now that it's a 9-team, like Mr. Snowgren mentioned, 10-team is a better conference as far as scheduling goes. It's close, be competitive, and has all the offers, they're growing. There's not really, I don't have any negatives that I can tell the board. The other school
Yeah, we can make a
maybe struggled with that.
Okay. What are the wishes of the board?
I'll make a motion to accept them into the conference.
Is that the motion though that you need?
What's the exact motion?
Yeah.
I can read it.
Well,
Is it there?
it's just that the board, the motion would
We
be
don't have,
that,
it just says we'll decide the request. We don't have a motion. So, but he is,
so in the
but
letter,
Travis
they
made a
are
motion.
requesting that the board accept
move forward.
Woodward Granger into the Heart of Iowa Conference starting July 1 of 2026.
But then what's the formality later then? Does the board have to do anything else?
No. Because then what we do, once the board, if they vote to accept Woodward Granger, then we let the association know that we presented to the board. The motion was just what I said as far as the board accepting Woodward Granger into the Heart of Iowa Conference. Then they go through their formalities with Woodward Granger to make sure that everything is in place.
So there's nothing, no other document coming back from them that they would have to vote on or for?
Correct.
I don't think
They would
so.
just inform us that all the
They've been
schools,
accepted or not.
we're anticipating all the schools at this point from what Mr. Snowburn.
Would you like me to amend my motion then to say, make a motion to accept Woodward Granger Community School District request for membership in the Heart of Iowa Activities Conference beginning July 1st, 2026?
Correct.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Second that.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Approve amended 2025-2026 district school calendar.
Okay, Travis and Joe
Yep.
were part of the negotiations, and with that, we agreed to go from a 193-day contract to 191 for next year. Therefore, the school calendar needed to be amended by reducing 2 professional days. And the amended contract, or excuse me, calendar is in the board packet.
I'll make a motion.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion on that?
Just a comment, and I think it has to do with the fact that we're letting out earlier. It seems to me that we're letting out the end of the school year later than most other school districts are letting us. So I would just say for next school year, maybe look at adjusting, just continuously studying. It was, I walked around, again, through my professional life, and I went to a lot of schools, and a lot of these schools were out
Well, we are due to be out the 22nd
of.
of
May.
May. We will
Okay.
be out before Memorial Day next year.
Oh, way out.
That's my last statement.
Okay.
Because of needing to get the
hope.
elementary building remodel started, because
We'll be very out there.
Site Logic wants to get in there and get
We will have
moving.
to stop on May 22nd this year. Now, I've had some discussions with some administration already, and they're chomping at the bit to, hey, how can we shorten this thing up? Here's been my concern, is this, and I know other schools can do a lot of different things, but as soon as you start taking snow days, say, hey, we're not going to make those up because we have the allotted time, we meet the criteria for the number of hours. Contractually, what happens is that you have different departments then that get hurt immensely. For example, nutrition. If you lose 3 days of kids eating, that's a big hit on the budget. Where does that come from? Transportation, fewer days. What do we do with those folks? Paras. What do we do with those folks? So it's a little bit more complex. And I know other schools can do that. It's just that we need to be very cognizant of the, I call it always a slippery slope. So there are some other things to that. And again, just because other schools do it, other schools do a lot of different things than we do. That doesn't mean that we have to do all those either. But it does get down to teaching and learning. All right? So we do want to reach the hours. We do want to be done by May 22nd. So we may have to make some kind of modification or adaptation, such as, and I don't like this one, but we have to increase the number of minutes in the day.
Because
then that still hurts on what I just said. Number of days that eat, so on and so forth. So
we only
we'll cross
have,
that bridge, Joe, Eddie.
Yeah.
But it has been a conversation.
We can move on.
we only have about 4.5 days
Retract
that
my
we
last
can play with hours.
Thanks, Eddie.
Sorry.
Because of the time.
Got it.
We have any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Approved service agreement between Heartland AEA and Perry Community School District for regional director leadership support for 25-26 school year.
As you well know, AEA has a different landscape since some legislative action. So these are why we're bringing in different kinds of agreements to the board than what we've done before. So this is an agreement where Misty Christensen, who we've worked with for the past few years, does an excellent job, will be our AEA contact support person. Very important person too.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Approved service agreement between Heartland AEA and Perry Community School District for math consultative services for 25-26 school year.
Similar situation, only with the new curriculum and math work that we're going to be doing this coming year. This person, Barb Sirslin, will be our math consultant. So it's important that the board votes on this because the number of days that this person has is limited, so we want to get in early on this.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Approved storm protection fund resolution.
All right, I'm going to have Kent take this one over. Remember Barry was here, I think last month or 2 months?
Last month.
So talked about it, but Kent will review a couple things as far as dollars and what it does for the school district.
I'll just read the resolution, and if you have a question, you can let me know. But the resolution will be to participate in the Storm Protection Fund and Iowa Code Chapter 28E entity and Chapter 670 risk pool, whereas the Board of Directors has received the renewal information for wind and hail property insurance coverage, and whereas the deductible under the wind and hail coverage under the policy is a percentage of the value insured, and whereas the Storm Protection Fund provides a means to manage and contain deductible costs associated with wind and hail insurance coverage. Now therefore, it is resolved. The Board of Directors authorizes the district to join the Storm Protection Fund and to pay all contributions as required by the Storm Protection Fund. And I believe our premium set for next year is $38,500. And will need to be passed and approved on this date. Any questions?
Is that paid out? I think I asked.
Paid out of management.
Fund, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve Storm Protection Fund resolution.
I'll second.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Roll call.
Those
Roll
opposed?
call?
Do we need a roll call on that one?
Oh, it's got to be a roll call. I don't love these resolutions.
Do a roll call.
I would not call it a resolution. So we're going to start with Eddie Diaz. Roll
Yes.
call vote, yes?
Yes.
Joe Tune?
Yes.
Yes.
Travis Landy? Linda Endor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Approve guided descent school-based mental health agreement for 2025-26.
All right, Jenna Blythe, our mental health consultant, has helped us to find more mental health people. And this agreement provides a local and an in-person school-based mental health service. She's talked to these folks as far as some of our needs, and then making sure people have access, and then at no cost. So anyway, we vetted those things out, and Jenna is ready to finish the deal with them and finalize and get kids in more services that they need in person.
Do we
in the
know how many kids signed up for the Hazel Health?
Well, they told me that they already had their first person sign up.
Okay.
That was late last week. They're not telling me every time that there's a person that signs up, but they said, hey, we got a good start. They were very pleased with how we rolled that out and had it available for this summer. So people now have the choice for in person and then also for virtual.
Good.
Did you say that this is a free service to the students?
To the students.
In the agreement, I see it says, Guided Descent LLC will bill students health insurance for services that are provided. If students are not covered under health insurance, they may self-pay for services.
Now, what they told us and what we agreed on was that there was no cost to the students, but there could be, like
We're talking about this one right
insurance.
here.
Yeah.
The guided, yeah. So, the whole agreement was insurance possible, but if they didn't have insurance, that they would still be able to cover that. So I'll ask them about
I'm not
that.
sure that I'm reading that on the agreement, I guess.
Yeah, I'll double check that though, but that is what we agreed to. And we're gonna meet with them Thursday also, so I can make sure.
Should we hold off a vote on this then?
Maybe we need to table
Because I'd
this
rather
one?
see it
Because
in writing,
it does
I guess.
talk about, having to pay for services.
Yeah, because again, we did extensive work that was the one thing, that was the first thing that we wanted in there. And so I'll double check with that. So we'll just pause on that and then we'll meet with them on Thursday.
Is it something we can put on to our Friday agenda if you're talking to them on Thursday? Or not?
I'll check. It's a
Yeah,
board retreat, I
okay.
think we could.
It's a special, it was
Yeah.
posted, I believe, as a special board meeting,
Yeah.
so you could have an action
Yeah, so I
item.
think we'll be
Okay.
okay for that.
All right, maybe maybe look at it Friday.
Okay?
Approve PACES Summer 25 pay rates.
All right, in your package, you see the PACES Summer 2025 pay rates.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Travis, was that you?
Yeah, it sure was.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Approve Upper Iowa School District Clinical Placement Agreement for 2025-2026 school year.
Similar to other student teaching experiences for next year then.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Approve revisions of Board Policy 604.1 to 604.11.
All right, Director Toon, take it away.
Code number 604.1, private instruction. In the fourth paragraph, add the word either in the first sentence. Also added by under supervision of a licensed practitioner. Also added or private instruction provided by parent, guardian, or legal custodian, struck. the last sentence in that paragraph. Cross-reference, they removed cross-reference 604.9, updated the reviewed and revised dates. Code 604.2, individualized instruction, no changes, updated the reviewed dates. Code 604.3, program for talented and gifted students, no changes, update the reviewed date. Code 604.4, program for at-risk students, no changes, update the reviewed date. Code 604.5, religious-based exclusion from school program, no changes, updated the reviewed date. Code 604.6, instruction at a post-secondary educational institution. On page 2, it struck the last paragraph and also added a note that this policy reflects current Iowa law. There are some changes in the legal references, updated and revised the reviewed date. Code number 604.7, dual enrollment. It struck cross-reference 604.9, updated the reviewed and revised dates. Code 604.8, foreign students, no changes, updated the reviewed date. Code 604.9, online courses, no changes, updated the reviewed date. Code 604.11, appropriate use of online learning platforms, no changes, updated the reviewed date. That's it.
I make a motion to approve revision of board policies.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Approve DOE model policy implementing House File 782, personal electronic devices in schools.
Okay, first of all, the word approve, that would be just for the second reading. So for this one, I want to emphasize it's a first reading. So we won't necessarily approve unless somebody says, hey, we're going to pass the first reading and approve it. So I'm not looking for approval. Just I want to present it for the first reading. Okay, so that's an error. The handout that you have at your spot, you should see Iowa Department of Education. Keep in mind that the format is a little different than most of our policies. That is because the Iowa Department of Education has said, here is the template that you must use. You have things that you can fill out that are possible things that we can choose, all right? And I'll go through some of those. Our principals will have comments on that. And but I just want you to know why does it look different? Why do you have the Iowa Department of Education? Because that's what we're told to do, okay? So, use of personal electronic devices by students. I'm not going to read all of this. You guys will be able to read through this yourself, but we're going to just comment on a few things. First one, it's a policy of the Perry Community School District that students may not, some districts could say may possess, all right? So those are some of the nuances with that we chose to recommend to the board. May not possess personal electronic devices on their person, meaning have it on them, during instructional times of the school day, okay? So during, I'm going to just continue. Some of the definitions on here describe what a school day is, what is instructional time. So we've outlined those things. Much of this comes from the Department of Ed, where we put in our times and different elements. For example, the third paragraph under definition is different than maybe other schools. But for example, instructional time at Perry Elementary refers to the school day. We put the time in there, 8:10 to 2:50, including activities on and off the premises of Perry Elementary, such as field trips, sponsored school activities during the school day in which the student is under the guidance and supervision of licensed instructional staff or instructional assistants, including independent study time during the school day. Perry Elementary has a different look than the middle school and high school, which they probably should due to the age of the students. So before I go on to general rules and list technologies and devices, principals, any comment as far as electronic devices that you want to comment to the board on?
I could say that I think we were ahead of the curve on this one because we already had a cell phone policy in place. A number of schools have nothing in place across the state. And so since we've already had something that we've been doing, pretty similar, honestly, to what we've had. So you'll probably notice that as you read through the policy.
So as you continue to go through the policy, any other comments, Brad, Laura, or Kevin? Do you have any comments up to this point? No? Okay.
Will there be specific places for them to put their cell phones? You know, because the high school has the boxes. Are we going to go out in the hallway with our box again?
That's
Or hang them on the wall?
Yeah.
So the elementary is that they're allowed in they keep them in, most of them, they either keep them in the coat room, in their backpacks in the coat room, or the teachers have a basket in the classroom. So one of those two options, depending on the teacher.
And we were very effective prior to January.
I mean, and again, if you start off day one with, here I am with my box, and put your cell phone in the box as you come in the classroom, or I don't see it, then we're all okay, you know.
We've had some students already that this last semester, we might have had cell phone issues with them that even stated, I know I will have to change next year. So our students kind of know, I think our parents saw it coming, so it should be supported pretty well.
And Linda, we follow the same policy as the elementary because it's a distraction, but also eye watches. When kids have eye watches and also the ear.
In earbuds, yeah.
Yeah, earbuds, so all of those three things.
Okay.
Continuing.
One of the differences between the instructional times with elementary and middle school, high school, middle school and high school talk about passing period and like lunch and recess of kids having access to their phone. The elementary were proposing not to. We had issues last year with smartwatches. Kids would call their parents from the playground, and then they'd say they need to go home, and then they wouldn't come back to class because they'd circumvent the procedures that we have in place. So my recommendation is for elementary kids to, the recess, lunchroom, playground is still under the supervision of instruction adults, that they would not have access to phones and watches between 8:10 and 2:50.
Will we make sure that we have our staff on board? Because it only takes one staff person to not follow the policy, and then we're all dealing with a whole lot of stuff we don't want to deal with.
Yeah, I think the key here, Linda, is then you'd be violating a state law at this point. I mean, so that's the new teeth that are there, is it's been passed statewide. You're not to have kids with your phones during instructional time. And so I think that's a little bit more of a, and granted, I thought our teachers did a pretty nice job for the most part in the middle school with that. We haven't really had many issues with in the last couple of years.
As that really, really old person who lived in a house with a phone that was on the wall and a cord that was this long, I am not tied to my phone, and most of the time I don't have it with me, you know. I lived a whole lot of life without an answering machine and a cell phone, and I believe anybody can get through an entire day with nothing. So, you know, retraining some of our staff may be as difficult or more difficult than retraining our students. So I just want that out there.
Is it absolutely necessary to have a second reading of this? Like, is there going to be much changing? Like, can I make a motion to approve this as it is, or is that not something we can do?
Kent, do
Just have
they need to
we
say
have to have
something
two
on the
readings,
first
I
reading
think,
though? If
on a
that-
new policy.
Or,
You have to have 2 readings, don't you?
You don't have to. Your motion would include the likes of something like, I make a motion to waive the first reading and
I just think why prolong this for another month when we know this is gonna happen? We just will get it right back out there and let.
And it has to be in effect by July 1.
So I would make a motion to forfeit the second reading, first reading.
First reading.
And make this the second reading and approve this as,
I would be all for that. I'm just letting you know, we just got this information from the DE, why
Yeah.
we didn't have it earlier. It was already past our
Yeah.
May board meeting.
I get it.
So, and I'm just
Are we
letting you know.
anticipating them making any
First
other
reading
changes?
can be waived.
in 2 weeks?
They could.
So,
We'll burn
here's
that bridge.
here's the
No,
whole
no, they
purpose
won't.
of
They're
this.
not in session.
And to go back to Linda's comment, first of all, yes, on your comment, that can be done. Number 2, to Linda's comment, the whole purpose on the cell phone business is there's been many studies as far as the mental health, and we've just talked a lot about mental health the past couple of years, what cell phones do. So that is what the whole idea is. I talked to Linda earlier. This is a student one. I've talked to our admin. We also will be doing some work on our practice for our staff too, because we have a ways to go as far as our use of cell phones. So I just want the board to know that.
Sure.
On the second part, you can just read it. We have the violations are spelled out. Student-specific exceptions. There are some exceptions in there, which, by the way, was what the DE wrote. All right, we didn't write that. That's what they had. And then also student plans. So with that, it's up to the board what they want to do. It's been presented at this point, and it will need to come into action.
My motion still stands. Joe seconds it.
It's not significantly different from our current policy anyway.
Ready? Motion and a second to waive the first reading and approve the DU model policy implementing House File 782, personal electronic devices in schools.
Sounds exactly
Any
like
other
what I said.
discussion?
Yep.
Yeah, a couple comments. So I don't think we're going to do the community-wide read on the anxious generation. I just could not get traction. And I'm more worried than maybe most that parents are not going to be on board. I just think, I just see it in summer kids with technology. So I would say,
It's going to be a challenge, Eddie. We're not going to say it's not, but I will say, from what I saw earlier, kids adapted very well,
They did.
and they did a good job with it. So I think we can do it. Here's the other part. It's a state law. So they can say it all they want to the board, to administrators, to teachers. Guys, this is a state law. This is what we're doing.
here's my point. A state law or federal law or any type of law is only as good as enforcement and as good as people are willing to follow. Hopefully it goes well. I'm fully in favor of that. But I would say if it doesn't, we got to figure out a way to get parents on board. And I would say that as soon as we can, and I'm happy to help with some of this, put flyers out there on social media. Hey, here's the state law. Don't let your kids veg out on technology over the summer. It's just going to make it more difficult for everybody else in the fall. And just,
It's an addiction.
yeah, it is. It is. So,
And it's a serious one. So I think this is a good one.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with it. I just feel
Again,
bad for the teachers that have to enforce it.
again, it worked in September of '23.
Rather than waiting till August.
Yeah, and I have these little did you know things on what it's doing to the brain and all this other stuff that I'm happy to share with people.
Yeah. Hey, anything that you have that would be helpful to have the transition, not easier, but at least successful,
Right.
we're open to that.
Thank you.
Okay?
It will work, but we all have to do it. Everyone has to be on board.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Personnel.
Okay, you have the updated and I mean updated, as of about 2:30 today, on the personnel list. Because of, June and hiring, it's imperative that we give you the most updated, and I think I just got one, like I said, at 2:30 on a very critical position. So there you have the personnel for hires, transfers, and resignations.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion on that?
The only discussion I have is esports. There's a resignation for Ryan. The esports, are we gonna dissolve?
Yeah. I've had visits with Tina. I think we're not going to be doing esports.
Are we gonna, do we make a move, are we gonna dissolve that, or do we need to dissolve it? Do we need to have any, because we approved that as being something. Is it in our best?
Double check
Is it in
with
our
Tina,
best
but
to
right
just get
now,
rid of it?
in our last discussion, it was that we were not actively seeking applicants for that. If we feel that we need to have a formal execution with that, we got a little update?
So Ryan is going to continue to do the position as a club. So it will not be a paid position, but they'll still have those opportunities. It's just not going to be
not paid.
It's not paid.
Wasn't it? I didn't believe it was paid before.
Yeah, it is paid.
It was?
Yeah, because
It's
they
on the
went to
supplemental
contest.
master contract.
So Ryan will continue to give those opportunities to students as a club.
The challenge with that approach is that you still need purchases of equipment and different things.
With the equipment that we have.
Yeah, I think what they're doing is it's a club now, they're not competing in the same events, so they don't have to go online and things, so it's more of a gaming club instead of like an actual competition.
It's a place for kids to be like after school.
Is there another example of something that runs similar to that?
We have a game club where kids come to play board games and things like that. It's just
Interact.
Just a teacher that wants to have kids,
But we would,
out opportunities.
you're right, but then we always look at, is it manageable, and are the kids benefiting from it, or is it a free-for-all? And that's up to us to decide whether it is worthwhile to have, even as a club.
Sure.
So those game clubs, do they get supervised, or does Tina have any involvement? And those are, because I'm assuming the lack of oversight goes down when they're not.
Tina does not.
Clubs are not part of the activities.
So that would fall under your oversight then?
Sure.
Be like our homework club.
Yes.
And the homework club falls under your
That
oversight?
would be
then?
me, yeah.
Okay.
And then we give them, they get an hourly pay for that.
But that's not what, we're not agreeing to that, this one, no.
So if there becomes any issues, then yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Okay?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Okay, our late item is the elementary playground contract bonds and proof of insurance that you have at your spot.
Ken's going to read the resolution, see if there's any questions for that.
So the resolution will be approving the contract, bonds, and proof of insurance that is provided for the construction of the elementary school playground project. The resolution approving construction contract and bond for the elementary school playground project, be it resolved by the Board of Directors of Perry Community School District, that the construction contract and bond executed and insurance coverage document for the construction of the elementary school playground project, and as described in detail in the plans and specifications heretofore approved, and which have been signed by the President and Secretary on behalf of the school district, be and the same as hereby approved as follows. The contractor was Jensen Builders. The amount of the bid was, I believe, $370,000.
Yeah.
The bond surety was provided, and the certificate of liability insurance coverage provided to the district.
$374,000.
374. And that bid was accepted by the board at a previous board meeting.
Do we
We need a motion?
roll on that? Maybe it's a resolution.
Oh, it says the roll was called and the vote was. So formality, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to start with Travis,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Eddie.
It's the end of our,
No, wait a minute. What? Oh, I forgot to write it down.
okay.
We're going on the board comment.
Remind me who made the motion? Travis.
Yes.
And seconded by
Joe.
Thank you.
All right. All right, board comments.
Sure, I'll make a comment. I'd like to, Kent, this is going to be your last meeting? Gonna
Well,
come-
I haven't Friday yet.
Yeah, Friday, yeah.
Second last.
Well, this is the last official one here at the Brady Library. Thanks for, personally, you've been very helpful for me and a lot of questions, a lot of goofy finance and acronyms and different things that I had no idea what those meant. You were very helpful on all that stuff, so I wish you good retirement at whatever you choose to do. And Kevin, this
I
is
hope
going
I
to
don't
be your
fail at
last
that.
one as well. Appreciate all your work in the district as well for all your time. And then Mary, last time for all your great work. So just wanted to say that with you guys being this your last board meeting. So thank you.
Yes. I also would like to thank the board for the time that we invested in our board meeting that we had this week. It was much longer than we had anticipated.
That was a record.
We all learned a whole lot in the whole process. But I thank you for being there and doing our board responsibility and doing our quasi-judicial. That wasn't the most pleasant, but thank you very much for being there and doing what you had been elected to do. Okay?
Ditto to that comment.
So
Do you have something, Eddie?
echo Travis's comments on the retirees. Thank you for everything. Wanted to reiterate the thing I brought up a couple meetings ago. This year, I'm looking for anybody on the board that'd be interested. I've already talked to Clark. I think Brad's been on an email. I would like to study the feasibility of bringing a Marine Corps JROTC program to the school district, and not this coming year, but the year after. So I'm kind of looking at this year as a feasibility study on finances, what it does to the climate and culture of the school, sustainability. So I've already reached out to multiple people, instructors out of North Carolina, a superintendent out of Western Iowa, and they're happy to meet with us. So I'd like to start those meetings this summer, just to see if it's something that would benefit the school district. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me, Brad. I'll connect you on that email.
Is that something that crosses all of the service organizations or just the Marines?
Yeah, the curriculum is based on the Marine Corps
Marine
culture,
Corps,
but
okay.
I'm sure it'll, not everybody that is in that program joins the Marine Corps, so it would be for anybody that's interested. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. The other piece, now that I'm not doing a book study, is I have more time for the policy review committee, so I think Linda and I are on that. So I have some interest in a couple different policies that I'd like to look at this summer. So again, open invite to anybody that's interested. I'll probably mention those specific policies at the board retreat. Also want to thank the SIAC group. I was on SIAC when I was a teacher, so that's been a long time. I think it's a super valuable tool that we can continue.
All right. Anything else?
Eddie, do you want to say anything about
Yes.
CBS or?
Yes. Real briefly, took a field trip this Friday to meet with folks from Marshalltown, Ottumwa, to study JPS. Thanks to everybody that made it. School was very well represented. Joe drove us. Learned a lot. PD votes on it tomorrow morning at 7 in the morning. Also want to thank Clark. Sometimes I need Clark with me on some more of these meetings because he was very strong advocate for the school district. And his voice was very well heard. We need better partnership from if this company comes into town. It's great. JBS.
Who did you say votes on?
Perry Economic Development. And then planning and zoning tomorrow afternoon. But in any event, I think it has the potential to be really good if things are done correctly, and that's what Friday was for, to lay the foundation and be more assertive in what we need from partners.
Yeah. Joe, do you have anything?
No, I feel like it's going to be, I feel like they're going to be a good asset to the community if they decide to build here. So hopefully they follow through with everything they seem like they do in Ottumwa.
Yeah.
Specifically.
It'll be a two-way street. We also have to do our due diligence to make sure that we have the things that we talked about. And I would agree with both of our board members. I think they could be a positive for our community. Going into it, we all think, okay, Tyson and meatpacking. They're not Tyson. I'm just going to tell you that. They have a different culture. They have a different way of communicating. They have a different way of treating people, which is key. I think stability is going to be important for us. I think partnership is going to be absolutely key. And yeah, I think all of us were impressed, but yet also voiced our concerns, voiced our wants, needs, and it's a very complex thing. I mean, Eddie and Perry Economic Development, the City Council, SPEN, the mayor, there's been a lot that's gone on way before this. So I appreciate the work that they've done, and we'll see if it comes to fruition.
And I think the new general manager who has been hired for the plant here has visited the community several times, and he indicates that they are willing to be good partners with the school and with the community, and that's what is going to be necessary in order to make it successful for all three entities. So.
Mr. Mankey went on the bus trip down there, and so if you have any questions for any of us, make sure that this is the time to start talking about it. And if you do have concerns, we all did, but I think this is the time to be able to voice that. And again, thanks to Joe for driving. That was a treat. So thanks.
The drive was a treat.
It was a good drive.
Was it a good treat?
It was a good drive.
Yeah.
It was a
very good drive.
drive. Safe drive.
He's an excellent driver.
And we had a good time too.
He's my first choice. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Question?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed?